Along this road on Woodcrest, something absolutely incredible happened. Something that would change the face of rock and roll forever. What's up, you guys? Chet the Dream Poet here, coming to you all with another fun-filled vlog here in the state of Florida. And today, guys, I have something very special for you all. Something very interesting, and I did not know it was in my own backyard. But I found out that Lynyrd Skynrd came from Jacksonville, Florida. Yes, one of the greatest rock and roll bands in the history of the world. Got their start. Well, I shouldn't say start. They lived their formative years here in Jacksonville, Florida. Yes, you guys, something absolutely astounding. In the entire 3 years that I've lived here, I had no clue that this was here. So, I think I've said enough. We're gonna go ahead and get this vlog started. Time to anchor down. Let's do this. Yes. This was not discovered until later on. You see, this right here is the childhood home of legendary rock band Lynyrd Skynrd. Yes, behind these gates right here. And as I was saying, this wasn't discovered until, well, by a local entrepreneur. He was doing some land development, looking at some real estate, and he found this home. You see, Ronnie, Donnie, and Johnny, by the way, they lived in this house from the 50s, well, pardon me, the 50s all the way up until the 80s. And their parents lived here up until 2004. You see, if I'm not mistaken, their mother died in the house in 2000, and the father, if I'm not mistaken, he passed away in the house in 2004. And really after that, the house kind of went silent until later on it was purchased. This entrepreneur, this gentleman, he worked with the state of Florida, and they made this a Florida State Heritage Site. I'll show you the sign right here. As this sign says, musicians Ronnie, Donnie, and Johnny Van Zant spent their formative years growing up in this house with their sisters and parents between the 1950s and the 1980s. A serendipitous foul ball hit Ronnie Van Zant at a nearby park, which, well, struck future bandmate Bob Burns in the head. And, well, it was because of this chance encounter that, well, this would later on become the greatest band, or I should say one of the greatest rock and roll bands in the entire world. Yes, while the Van Zant children were touring, gold records literally hung along the walls of the Van Zant house. Absolutely amazing. But if you all do not know the history of what happened with Lynyrd Skynrd, it was in 1977. It was October 20th. Their plane was heading out, their touring plane, and they were heading to a show. While they were on their way, their tour plane ran out of fuel. And in doing so, the plane crashed. It killed members, including the lead singer. And, well, it wasn't until about 10 years later that the second incarnation of Lynyrd Skynrd was formed. Now, if you listen to some of the stories from some of the brothers, they will tell you that it was also in this house that they also learned how to play drums. And this is also where they learned how to swing. And just a lot, even actually some of their occasional band practices happened in this house. a lot of history in the most unexpected places. All right, you guys, just after you thought it couldn't get any cooler, we're actually going to go to another place, and this is the high school where the Van Zant brothers went to. And y'all are probably wondering, why is the high school so important? Well, y'all are about to find out. First off, originally the high school's name was Robert E. Lee High School, but due to the recent civil uprisings and whatnot, it got changed to Riverside. But at this high school is where the Van Zant brothers attended. Now, this is why the high school is so important. You see, there was a coach and PE teacher that used to give Ronnie, Donnie, and Johnny a run for their money. And when I say a run for their money, I'm talking about this coach would love to enforce the dress code policies. He would always send the brothers to the principal's office to get them in trouble. And when these boys formed Lynyrd Skynrd, they named it after this coach. Yes, the coach's name was Lynyrd Skynrd. Yes, if you can believe it. And it was at this high school where this coach worked many, many years. So yes, that is how one of the most famous bands in the history of rock and roll named their band. It was after their not so beloved coach, and it's kind of interesting because for years when Lynyrd Skynrd got big, the coach, Lynyrd Skynrd, he could not stand the band. But near the end, in 1977, the coach and the boys, well, now men, they patched things up. They worked things out. They did what they could. And even at one point, the coach, he even introduced them on stage. So quite interesting, quite fascinating. And now, this would not be a complete Lynyrd Skynrd vlog if we did not visit the graves. So let's pay our respects at the cemetery. All right, you guys, it was about a 20-minute drive to get here from Riverside High School, formerly known as Robert E. Lee High School. But the graves of Steve Gaines, Cassie Gaines, Ronnie Van Zant, they are buried here in Jacksonville Memorial Gardens. At first I thought it was going to be kind of hard to find, but turns out after driving around the cemetery for about 10 minutes, it was actually near the front gate. So let's pay our respects. Yes, not only is this rock legend ground, this is also holy ground. And I'm going to pay my respects, but I do want to show you all. This is Steve Gaines' grave. As you can see, somebody left a little rebel flag. Dixie. And of course, you can't forget the free bird. And I think if I have any money to my name, I'll probably run back to the truck, and I will probably put something there as well. Teresa Gaines, and as well This is Cassie's grave. If y'all didn't know, Cassie Gaines, she was a backup singer for Lynyrd Skynrd. And there's an interesting story here. You see, that night she had a chance to avoid the plane. You see, she did not want to get back on that plane, but her brother threatened to fire her if she didn't. Kind of wish that, you know, well, kind of shows that, you know, we don't really know what's going to happen or what the future tells. And this right here is, should I say, the former gravesite of Ronnie Van Zant. You see, there is a story with this, and the story is that after Ronnie Van Zant was buried here, by the way, if y'all don't know, Ronnie Van Zant was the lead singer of Lynyrd Skynrd. You see, it was one night, a group of jerks, they were drunk, they were being stupid. They got into an argument on whether they thought Ronnie had a Neil Young shirt on when he was buried. So these jerks, they broke into the crypt, they pulled the casket out, but they could not get Ronnie's body out, which I'm kind of thankful that they didn't do that, or they weren't able to do that. But as a result, that caused Ronnie's body to be moved somewhere else. Very sad. Kind of wish that, you know, people could have a little more decency. Now, to further go on with what happened, you see, Ronnie, his body was moved with his parents. If I'm not mistaken, the cemetery in question is called Riverside Memorial Park. It's about 12 minutes from here. But what they did to keep further grave robbing or any type of desecration is they put Ronnie beneath 3 feet of concrete. I don't think anybody is going to get through that, which I'm kind of happy, but I hate that they had to do that to a very, very well-known rocker. Kind of hate that, but those things happen. Also in that cemetery is also the grave of Lynyrd Skynrd. Well, Lynyrd Skynrd. Yes, both of them are buried there. Today, I think we're not really going to check that out, but I think this has been an overall very interesting video. Got to see a lot of things that I never thought would be here, and well, for lack of a better terms, in my own backyard. I'm glad I got to pay my respects. Just overall, just a very sad situation. I mean, you got to think, 1977, 3 days after the record dropped, one of them went all the way up to gold. By the way, actually, if I'm not mistaken, they actually had to remove the cover from that album just because of what happened. But you know what? I know they're all in a better place. Just very sad. Very sad day in rock and roll history. October 20th, 1977. You know, this just goes to show, never take life for granted. But you guys, that's going to be my vlog for the day. Thank you all so very much for staying posted and staying tuned. This was a rather interesting vlog. I never thought all of this was here, which I'm very, very surprised. But you guys, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to share. It means a lot. It goes to show that y'all care. So, check out Chet the Dream Poet. Anchor down. Vlog over.